It's Shannon.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon Live.
It's Shannon.
Because you don't know how it's going to turn out.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
My kids empowered me to get out.
What's going on with this remote learning in the midst of COVID?
Working for different elected officials, learning and understanding how to put your community first.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, ladies, my co-hosts, for joining me tonight, Dr. Lizzie and Miss Allison Maurice. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Hi, Dr. Liz.
Hey, Allison. Hey, Lottie. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to jump in.
Well, you know what? Our topics tonight is keeping secrets and whether you should mind your business or not. But before we get started into our topics, I just want to say to my girlfriend, we're going to keep her in prayer because her husband and his lawyer partner and wife was shot. Wife was killed. He was shot. He's in a induced coma. And their partner, he's still alive. So we just want to send our prayers out to her tonight to hope that, they be all right and he recuperates and comes out of his coma and stuff. So, but God is good all the time. He knows. So listen, secrets. Should we keep secrets now?
No.
If you had, if you gave your child away at birth, now he's 12 years old. You want the parents now who adopted him to tell him that you are the real mother. Do you think the parents should tell him, or they should leave it like it is and let him continue growing up the way he thinks that that's his mother and father?
Because that is his mother and father.
Yes.
She wants to come now at 12?
Yes.
12 years old?
Yes. She wants him to know now that she is the real mother, but she don't want to take him away, from them because she can't because they illegally adopted him.
Right.
So, but she just want him to know that she's the real mother.
So I have some questions around this. So does he already know that he's adopted, or does he not know and he thinks that these are his birth parents?
He knows he's adopted, but he don't know who his mother is.
So
is he asking?
Right. So
no, he's not asking. He doesn't want. He's not interested in knowing.
If he ever asks, like, hey, I want to know who my birth parents are, then I think the adopted parent should say, hey, we know who your birth parent is.
Right.
She's so and so. She lives next door. Whatever the case may be, she's a family member. If he's not asking the question, we're not giving answers unless the question's been asked.
Right. No, he's happy like Pappy. No.
So
for what?
So if the mother keeps insisting, almost like to the point, like, well, if you don't tell him, I'm going to tell him.
No.
How's she going to do that?
Because she knows where he is and where he lives and stuff. So she knows where he goes to school at because she is, around where he is. He just don't know that she is the parent. She sees him all the time. He see her all the time, but he doesn't know that's his mother.
I would go
listen.
Order protection and make sure the school has order protection. Make sure the church has the order protection.
Yes.
Make sure mom has it, that she has been legally served.
Yes.
To be around this child at all. It is his whether or not he decides that he wants to know who his birth mother is. She can't. She gave him up. That was a decision she made. That's the only right she had. The right that she had was to decide whether or not she wanted to keep her child. She exercised her right during that time. Now she has no more rights.
Right. She gave it up.
But see, the thing about it is, at any time, she could tell him, because she might run into him in the supermarket somewhere or on his way home from school. She could just go up and, and talk to him, and then just come on out and like tell him that I am your real mother.
Listen, I know if you come into my house, you're going to get beat. You come to my house, I'm gonna beat you.
She's not gonna come. She's not gonna come to the house.
I
just said, like, well, the thing is with adopted kids like that. Well, even if they're not even adopted, because we had that situation in my family, and the child was given, to the uncle and the aunt and all like that kind of stuff. But they grew up thinking that was their mother and father until one of the cousins told it, and they told it, and so it affected the child because, even though they were grown almost, but just to find out that you thought your aunt and uncle was your actually mother and father, and come to find out the person you call an aunt is actually your mother, And I mean, it's hard. It's really hard in a way because it affects you. And I tried to understand the situation, even though the person wanted to know because they said, well, why you couldn't tell me, blah, blah, blah. But then we felt like, what's the point, But
that person didn't know that they were adopted.
No, well, they wasn't officially adopted because back in the day,
yeah, because I got an uncle who's not my uncle.
When they have kids back in the day, they just give them to one of the cousins,
right?
And keep them.
You don't got no kids. Take this one.
Yeah,
take this one.
I mean, they didn't have no kids, so they gave it to him.
Right, but
I'm
in
just
this
saying,
case,
like, do you feel that child should know, even though they're not asking questions?
Absolutely not. The child didn't ask the question, so we're not offering the answer. And I'm a strong believer in that we should go the legal route. I would get a lawyer and have them write up a cease and desist order. And so now you have the order protection, you have the lawyer's letter. You can go to jail for opening your mouth.
I agree.
But I'm saying, even if you take out the order of protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that or whatever. So you were saying that if the person did come to the child and say something to them or tell them, you were saying that they could go to jail?
Yep. That's what that order of protection is about. You have no right to go within 100 feet or how many feet the judge says of that child. You break that order of protection. You go to that child's school. I expect the schools to follow suit and call the authorities. And then
absolutely. Absolutely.
You serve with the same paperwork that the school's going to have, that the church is going to have, the Boy Scouts, whatever the child is involved in. Small team, you're getting a copy of it so that you know that you have no rights to be nowhere near that child.
Right. And how dare you try to come in and disrupt this child at 12 years old?
Yeah, but I still don't see how you can stop that. Even with an order of protection, how you gonna stop that person if they really want to say something to that child? How you gonna stop them from saying it?
They can, but I'm gonna put you in jail.
Mm-hmm. But then they didn't told them. But they already, if they told them, then it's out. So whether they go to jail or not, the child already knows.
At the end of the day, that child knows that he's adopted. He has no interest in finding out who his actual biological parent is. Now, if at some point that child says, hey, you know what? I want to know where I come from. I want to know who I come from. Then yeah, no problem. Let's go call your mother. I know who that heifer is. But if he's not interested in that now, what is the urgency? It's her urgency, not his. And at that point,
I know it's her urgency, but that's my point. If she just goes ahead, regardless of even if you serve her with that order of protection or whatever, at some point, if she just wanted to blurt it out, she could just blurt it out to the child.
She can.
So the order of protection doesn't mean anything. I mean, you can get in trouble later, like you said, Dr. Lee, if you open your mouth. But what I'm saying is already out there now. The child already knows because you blabbed it out to them that I just wanted to let you know that I'm your mother and I want to be a part of your life. So now the child already knows it because you don't.
Right, but technically she's just a person that gave birth to him. She's not technically his mother. She's a person that gave birth. She gave him up. So she no longer has those rights and privileges. She can call herself his mother, but that's not what she is. The person that gave birth to you, just because you give birth doesn't mean that you're a parent. There are a lot of people who give birth to children.
Well, she feels that even though she might have gave him up when she had him, she gave him up because she couldn't take care of him at that time. So she feels now that, she's gotten herself together. She can take care of the child.
It's too late.
So
I have the right to say, yes, you can be around to know you can. And he's not asking for you. You're not going to be right. If he later on decides that he wants to know who you are, and I will have that conversation with her. If he wants to know later on, then by all means, I will sit him down and have that conversation about who this person is, who's a picture, if I have a picture, whatever the case may be.
Right.
We're not disrupting his life right now. You have absolutely choice to this child. This child is very happy, and we're going to leave him that way.
Right.
Okay, so in just regular cases, right? In regular cases, that when children are adopted, so you don't feel at some point you should tell them they're adopted?
I mean, if they don't know, then yeah, you can tell them. But I mean, what's the purpose? I mean, at the end of the day, I would tell them maybe when they're an adult, you know what I mean, or old enough to at least process that kind of information, because that could be very, very detrimental to a child. You know what I mean? What does that mean? Now they go through all of these kind of confidence things. Oh, my mother, my father didn't want me, all kinds of things. If this child is happy, why disrupt him in these formidable years to tell him, oh, well, your parents didn't want you, so we took you? Because essentially that's what you're telling him. She didn't want you, whatever the circumstances were, but we raised you, we loved you, we cared for you, we gave you the best, we gave you everything you needed and things that you wanted. You know what I mean? That didn't have anything to do with her. She's the reason why we have you, and we're grateful for that. But at the end of the day, that's going to be a disruption in that person's life. You can do it later on. I'll definitely say do it later on.
But that's my point. Like I figure, I mean, I know they can't process stuff like really, really young, but yeah, I mean, when they start going to school and stuff like that, you don't feel that something needs to be told to them, because they might find out somebody in school might blab it out, or somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like you would be the one want to tell them, not for them to find out through somebody else.
I mean, but you know, such is life. If they do find out, and we'll have that conversation when we cross that bridge. But I'm not saying nothing. If you don't come to me like, hey, you know what? I don't look like you or your dad. Like, who do I look like? Then we'll have that conversation. But if there is no interest, no question, no nothing, no doubt, my man is living his best life, why rock the boat? Because she wants to come back now.
Ready for that type of conversation, right? So
right.
Not every child at the age of 12 is ready for that type of a conversation. Not
right.
Sure enough to handle, because then now we're having these conversations at the beginning of the school year about your family, getting to know you. So now this child having a conversation in the beginning of the school year may not be able to, you know, articulate, like, I'm not really sure about my family. And it may start the child crying. And so I think it really is a case by case scenario.
Yeah.
If I was the parent in this particular scenario, no, I'm not saying anything to my child right now, because my child has not brought it up. So obviously my child, he's not ready for this conversation. When he is ready, we will sit down and have the conversation.
Do you remember the movie that came out? I think Sherry Shepherd played the mother. It's a real true story where the young lady, when she was a teenager, I think, trying to get a job, and she couldn't find the birth certificate or whatever they didn't have, and she started searching to find out what the problem was, and then she come to find out that they were not her real parents and stuff, and then she started looking for the real parents, and then when they found the real parents, it was a whole big mess about it, you know, when she would want to be with them, they wanted her with them. I think eventually later on, remember they called in what's her name? Ivana Zen. What's her name that you be on Oprah thing where she's a psychologist? Ivana.
Ivana.
What's her name? Yeah.
I
think she did a session with them because it was such a mess with that. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you're just joining us, thank you. And we're doing our hot topics. This is Keeping It Real with Shannon. And moving on to our next topic is, I wanted to ask you, you have a ride or die friends where you've been friends for years, you're tight, all of that. If you saw her husband with another woman and you confirm that this is somebody he having an affair with, would you tell her or should you mind your business?
Girl, I'm telling you, bugging. I'm taking pictures. I'm sending it to her. Listen, you're trifling man out here with his side piece. What you want me to do? What we doing? We rolling up on shorty? What we doing? I got my grease. I got my ponytail. I got my do. What we doing?
Now, see, Allison, it really depends on the friend, how I know the friend will react, right? So, you know, you have those friends where you tell them something about their man and you think they should leave their man, and it causes a rift between you and the friend, and they still with the man. So now it's an awkward, uncomfortable situation because you know the truth about what you saw, right? And so now the friend is hating you, the man is hating you. Like, oh, no, all you were trying to do is be a friend. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. I want somebody to tell me, but not everybody wants to hear the truth.
Listen, if I know that she's not going to do anything about it, then I'm going to mind my business. But if I know that heifer's like me, I'm telling. I'm going to stay here till you get here. That how long are you going to take? Let me know. But I agree with you. If it's a friend that's going to be like, oh, no, but I love him, and then I'm going to mind my business, because it doesn't make any sense rocking the boat if she's going to stay on it.
See, that's what I was thinking too, Dr. Liz. I mean, because I had that situation before. Like, sometimes, like, if you go tell somebody something, right? Rather than them listen at what you were telling them and maybe just try to find out for themselves, is it actually, you know, true or whatever? Right. They turn around and turn on you. They'll turn on you because now, like, well, why are you telling me that for? Well, how come this? You know, like, that's why you don't know what to tell them anything, and then when they find out about it, and then they find out you knew about it, because he's gonna say something about you seen them or whatever. Then it's now why you didn't tell me.
Listen, because I told you before, you was down my throat about it, so I was minding my business. But again, you know your friends, right? You know how they are. You know how they would react. So to a certain extent, I'm like, I know. Listen, if I tell my homegirl I see her man out here, I know she coming. You know, she coming with the 4-5 and a shovel. You know, we're ready to party at.
But you know, even though you might know how they are, or at least you think you know how they are. But then when things like this happen, particularly if they really love that person, they don't want to hear anything bad about them anyway. And then even if you tell them something bad, they're not hearing what you're saying, because they don't want to leave that person. They don't want to give that person up. They rather take that from them than to give them up.
But here's the thing. If she is that kind of person, then this is not the first time he's doing it. It's the first time you're seeing it. But you know, if he's a cheater and he's been out here cheating, then, you know, listen, she found out about it before, she didn't do anything, so I'm gonna mind my business. And if she comes to me and says, hey, listen, why didn't you tell me? For what?
I may go to the person and give them a scenario, like, say, hey, girl, so if this happens, how would you feel about it? Would you want someone to tell you? And on their response, I'll be like, okay, well, let me tell you what I saw at the supermarket today. And let me show you. I got to send you a little text right now.
Yep. I'm going to send you the pictures, because I'm all about receipts, because I don't want to be that he said, she said. No, girl, check your phone. I just sent you all the pictures and the video that I took that day that I saw them. So let him explain that to you, right? You let me know if you need me to help you bury your body. And I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, but Dr. Liz, like you said, I might like ask them, well, if you saw this or this happened, how would you feel? People always respond to you as if they would do something. You know what I'm saying? They always going to respond, well, if that happened, I would do this and I would do that. And that's a lie, because then when you actually tell them something, or if it actually happens, it's a whole different story from what they say. They're not even going to believe what you were saying and go along with it. They still going to turn on you. So that's why I said, you know what? Let them find out on their own. Because to me, when they're you're going to find out about it anyway. This is a small place, small world. You will get caught eventually. Yeah. So my thing is eventually they're going to get caught.
If he's paying for those groceries, I'm going to find out what the finances part of it. Something ain't adding up at the end of the month. We said extra $240. Where did that go?
Right. Oh, why you spending $473 at Food Bazaar? We ain't buy food that day.
And
but see, that's only if you were keeping up with your finances together now, because sometimes, you know, one person is only doing the finances and bills and stuff, and not the two of them together. So if you don't have it together where you check it, you still wouldn't know what they spending and what they buying.
You know when your man's money ain't right. You're gonna know that.
Okay.
But most of the time, like I said, most of the time, women, particular wives, you know when your man is cheating. Because when people say, "Oh, I didn't even know he was cheating" or whatever,
girl, you wasn't paying attention.
Because that's what I said.
You was cheating too.
Paying attention to your husband or boyfriend or something, because something always changes about them.
Because they was cheating too. Listen, at the end of the day, it's my due diligence as a friend to tell you what I see. Whether you choose to act on it or not, that's on you. And I'm not going to keep harping on it with you. I'm going to say, hey, listen, this is what I saw. This is your relationship. So I'm going to leave you to deal with it. But for me, I can't see a situation that involves anybody that I call friend and not say anything. You can like me or don't like me. You can stop speaking to me. If you stop speaking to me, that's on you. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know the kind of person I am. I wouldn't want anybody's significant other having them looking crazy in the street. So I'm going to tell you what I saw. And I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it there for you to deal with. But I'm definitely going to say something. Whether you choose to deal with it or how you choose to deal with it, that's on you. You want to be mad at me, you need to be mad at your man. And I'm going to tell you that. Why are you mad at me and I'm mad at him?
Because that's the way it goes.
No, it's not. Not if you're a real
that's
friend.
human behavior. That's human behavior. See, behavior changes. You think that that's the way they should behave because you think they should get upset or be mad or whatever or something like that.
No, you see, that's the thing. I don't think anything. How you deal with your situation and your relationship is on you. Like I said, I'll give you the information. What you choose to do with it or not do with it is on you. Just let me know if you need me to help you bury your body. That's all I want to know. And I'm gonna leave it.
Some women are not gonna leave. Some women are not gonna change.
Right.
I have a girlfriend who literally will call me every single day to tell me all the things her man does wrong. So if I was to call her and tell her this additional thing, it doesn't make a difference because he did 100 things already. It's you
exactly.
But then I wouldn't bother in that situation. Exactly. I wouldn't bother in that situation. I wouldn't bother in that situation because she already knows that he's cheating. So why add one more thing? Yeah. But if I have a friend and she is clueless to the situation, then I'm definitely going to say something. But if I have a friend, she's always talking about how man cheating, he doing this, he doing that. It's no need. It makes no sense.
He does this in terms of the lack of finances. He does this or whatever all the other things that he does, right? So negative things. So I'm not going to give you additional things because you have been dealing with this for over a year,
right?
For all the other crap.
And another thing too, Allison, you can't think your friends are clueless. You don't think people are clueless.
And I don't think that they are. But for me, listen, if you don't say anything to me or whatever, at the end of the day, I at least said that I saw it. It's like if I see your kid crossing the street and he doesn't know how to cross the street and there's a car coming, would you say something or would you tell the parent and then let them deal with it? No, I'm gonna say something. Hey, get your behind out the street. You know what I mean?
I just feel when it comes to grown people like that, I always feel like they're really not that clueless. I feel that, I personally, I wouldn't even say anything because I know that happened to me. That was years and years and years ago. And I told it. And they turned on me and got mad with me. So after that, I was like, you know what? I don't care if we sitting there looking at each other in the face. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying anything.
Listen,
let you find
that's
out
God's
on your
blessing.
own. If you come to me and say, well, did you know this? I'm saying, no, I didn't know this. No, I didn't know this.
No, I'm telling you.
I know how people are. They will turn on you in a minute. So
then I'm an alien.
And you are not clueless because you should know where your person is cheating or not. Because something gives it away. They do not act the same. You don't act the same when you meet someone new. If you talking to somebody, even you just talking to someone yourself and you meet someone else that you might like better than the person you talk, something changes about you. You don't have that same, interaction with the person that you had before, because then you will start acting like, I don't really want to meet you, this weekend, or you start making excuses of why you can't hang out with them. And something gives it away. So that something is going on. So you are not that clueless of that the person out there cheating. And my thing is, I don't understand why you have to cheat anyway, because if you get together and nothing lasts forever. Some people get together and they last a lifetime. Some people get together, it's real short or whatever. But if it comes to the point that you are not getting along with each other anymore and you really don't care for each other anymore, why don't you just go on your separate ways? Why do you have to go out there and be cheating anyway? What sense did that make? I never could understand.
Because some people comfortable. And they like being in that comfortability, and they'll do whatever extracurricular whatever that they need to do.
But that's not being comfortable. If you don't care for the person anymore, why don't you just sit down together and make a decision to go your separate ways?
Some people don't want to do that.
Why do you want to sneak around for? Who wants to get dressed to go out and you sneaking around?
Listen,
who needs that headache? I don't understand. I never can get that point. Understand? I'm gonna sit down with you and say, look, I don't think this works.
It's not working.
We're gonna have to go our separate ways or whatever like that. I don't want to get dressed to go out and have to be looking over my shoulders or worried about where I'm gonna run into your wife or your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Who needs that? I don't need that kind of stress or whatever. Let's just go our separate ways. And some people are meant for each other, and some people are not.
Some people are not.
That's the way I look at it. So my lips,
I'm snitching.
I'm not telling it. I'm not telling anything.
It depends on the person. So if I know how the person is going to react, then I'm gonna tell. If I know you're gonna curse me out and hate me later, oh well, I'm not telling you anything then, because we can't have a conversation about it.
But then I don't call that half a friend.
Yeah. So some people can't handle bad news, and they blame.
Okay, I'm gonna tell them, y'all watch out. If Allison see you, what's gonna happen? If she see you out there, what's gonna happen? She's gonna be taking pictures of you and everything, But we're not gonna have time to really get into our third topic. I wanted to talk about our young people that has been getting killed this last week. They just been so many killings with the young people, the stabbing, but we'll talk about that the next time on the show and everything, because this has gotten out of hand. It's out of control. Our young people are dying. I'm listening to the mothers and the grandmothers on TV crying. It could be in our family as well. And I just don't know what's going to happen and what we're going to have to do. But I want to thank you, ladies, for coming on tonight and sharing into our topics that we had. And hopefully we'll get to, with all this violence and stuff going on next time and stuff. But so thank you for joining us, and thank you all for watching tonight. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Today's show is sponsored by Aboo's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Aboo's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
Do you like beautiful pictures for your home or your office? Then stop by Stage Watch Gallery. They have a large selection of pictures from around the world.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon.